If you grew up watching Perman, you probably remember it as a comfortable, episodic loop of after-school adventures. Mitsuo Suawa, the main character, was the furthest thing from a godlike savior. He was an incredibly relatable, unmotivated 11-year-old who hated doing his homework and spent half his time bickering with his little sister. This photograph shows the manga duo Fujiko F. Fujiko, who created him in 1960s Japan. As you look at this snapshot of a typical 1960s Japanese street scene, imagine dropping a futuristic alien copy robot right into that mundane reality. That was their signature storytelling style, a genre they called Tsukoshi Fujiko, meaning slightly mysterious. By dropping magical sci-fi elements into an incredibly grounded everyday world, the show convinced viewers that Mitsuo's carefree antics would simply loop forever. For millions of international viewers, the anime eventually faded from broadcast schedules without ever airing a definitive final episode. That disappearance left kids with a comforting assumption. Mitsuo was still out there, flying around his hometown indefinitely. But the creators actually published a strict, definitive conclusion to his story in the manga. A serialized ending creates a linear timeline, where Mitsuo's childhood has a literal expiration date. Birdman's distribution of superhero equipment was a deliberate step in a long-term cosmic recruitment strategy. By monitoring every rescue and every failure, Birdman transformed Mitsuo's daily life into a multi-year performance review. The cosmic supervisor was searching for a successor to train as the next guardian of the universe on the distant bird planet. Out of all the candidates on Earth, this clumsy, deeply flawed kid actually passed the test. Taking the job comes with an absolute, non-negotiable condition. Mitsuo has to leave his planet, his friends, and his family permanently. Achieving the ultimate status of a true superhero requires him to completely sacrifice his youth. During his final days on Earth, Mitsuo desperately tries to soak in the normal life he used to complain about. He spends his last hours helping his mother with chores and quietly enjoying the feeling of being home. Right before his departure, his teammate Paco pulls him aside to address the unspoken tension that had been building between them for years. Breaking Birdman's strictest rules, Paco takes off her mask and reveals her true identity as the mega-famous child idol, Sumire Hoshino. She finally confesses her feelings to him, and Mitsuo promises that one day he will return to Earth for her. Mitsuo leaves a copy robot behind to take his place, boards the ship, and fades into the deep darkness of space. As he breaches the atmosphere, he permanently severs his ties to the world he protected. It plays as a moment of profound loss, rather than a triumphant victory. His departure leaves behind a massive, decades-long question. Did Mitsuo ever actually keep his promise and return? The definitive answer to that question is hidden years later in an entirely different series by the same creators, Doraemon. In a specific crossover episode, an adult Sumire makes a cameo appearance. When Nobita and Doraemon eagerly ask her if she has a boyfriend, she doesn't answer directly. Instead, she tightly clutches a hidden locket against her chest. Inside that locket is a picture of a young Mitsuo. She tells the boys that her closest person has gone far away, and she still looks up at the stars, waiting for him to come back. Sumire's presence in Doraemon confirms that while she moved into adulthood, the boy who promised to return is exactly where he was, decades away from home. In Fujiko F. Fujio's narrative world, the bird planet functions as a specific thematic endpoint. It operates as a metaphor for the inescapable one-way transition into adulthood. The more duties and responsibilities you take on in life, the less you get to simply be a kid. Just as Mitsuo could not remain a carefree child forever, the kids who watched him were also forced to grow up, leaving the comforts of an endless summer behind.